Good evening, lovely spirits. It's the wise servant here, Mr. Solace. Peace and wisdom. Now, today I want to do this video discussing weight loss for all the brothers and sisters out there who may be suffering from being overweight. Now, in today's times, our minds are conditioned to believe that food is the reason why people become overweight. But what if I told you the true reason was lack of sunlight and lack of oxygen? That is truly the reason why people are becoming overweight. Now, you've never heard this because being overweight has become a business, meaning your being overweight has given men an opportunity to capitalize off this. So you have many different diet products that truly don't work. You have many different wise brothers out there now in today's times. They tell you eat this, eat that. And a lot of times these things don't work either. And it's a very deep thing. You've never heard about sunlight and oxygen being the reason for you gaining too much weight. The reason for that is because a man cannot profit off that. Sunlight, oxygen, these things are free. So it's a deep thing. It's a deep thing you'll have to grasp. People's addictions and the things that people suffer from are the things that others capitalize on. And you have to try to remember that when you're indulging into all these products, trying to fix yourself. You have to always remember beneath all of this that's being told to you, it's business. And that's what most of this is being pushed out for. But truly the issue lies in lack of sunlight and oxygen. And if you go speak to anyone who is overweight, I guarantee you they will tell you they do lack sunlight and oxygen. And I want you to understand, everyone in today's time lacks sunlight and oxygen. Because most people are either at work or indoors in school or indoors somewhere during the daytime. And during the daytime, this is when the sun is out. And the sun is very important when dealing with your food and your body and how all of this works. And I'm going to explain this, but it's a very deep thing. Many of us lack sunlight daily. Like many of you get very little sunlight touching your body. It's a deep thing, whether with clothes on or without, but just being out in the sun, most people miss this on a day-to-day basis. Now, being as though you're at work or in school or somewhere indoors, you're not getting fresh oxygen. We get our oxygen from trees, plants, rivers, lakes, the waters, the trees and the plants. We get our oxygen from these things, our fresh oxygen. So most of us are not getting fresh oxygen on a day-to-day basis, and most people are not getting sunlight on a day-to-day basis, and you're lacking these things. So we focus on the food that's being eaten, but we focus on the food that's being eaten, but we do not focus on the things that we're lacking in life, because everything works together. So it's a very deep thing. Now I want to explain to y'all the importance of sunlight and oxygen and how this can affect your weight gain if you're lacking these things. Now the first thing I want you guys to understand is how the body works. We eat food, whether plant-based, meaning vegetables, fruits, etc., or meat. When we eat food, this builds up carbon in us. extra carbon. Now, you know, we breathe out carbon dioxide and we shit. So this removes the waste. But this is how you get a buildup of carbon. But it's okay because sunlight, oxygen, it breaks these things down into sugars, carbohydrates, and many different other things that your body may need. So I don't want you to get lost on what I'm saying, but the food you eat, it builds up carbon. Now, the oxygen you breathe, this breaks down the food that you eat, and it removes the energy from it, distributing it out throughout your body. I'm sorry. So the oxygen basically breaks the food down, pushing the energy and the things you need from the food throughout the body. Now, in the process of this being broken down, the oxygen breaking this down, you get the carbon dioxide, which is the waste gases. But you breathe most of this out. And you know, you shit out the other waste. Now, the other carbon dioxide that's within you, it may mix with the waters in your body, and the sunlight will turn it over into sugars and carbohydrates and different things. So you need fresh oxygen to break the food down to the essence of the things that you need. Now, when you're not getting proper oxygen, the food is not being broken down properly. So the carbon dioxide is still stuck within the food. It's not being pushed out, breathed out. It's not being broken down to its essence, sugars and carbohydrates and things that you need. It's being stuck in the food that you eat, being as though the oxygen is not being as though you're not getting fresh oxygen, the food is not being broken all the way down the way that it needs to be. So it's a deep thing. In that happening, you begin to get backed up. This is why people begin to gain weight. Now, when you lack sunlight, you have to understand, sunlight cleans carbon dioxide and it makes it fresh air or fresh oxygen. Now, I know a lot of people may think, no, plants do that. Plants take sunlight and it turns the carbon dioxide into oxygen. But your body does the same thing. It's a deep thing you have to grasp. You have certain cells in your blood that absorb carbon dioxide and push out oxygen throughout your body. You have to remember your body is like a universe to the micro life within it. So the same things are happening all throughout cells. And it's a very deep thing you have to grasp. But the sunlight along with the water, it breaks down the other carbon dioxide within you that's not pushed out or breathed out. It transfers that over into sugars and carbohydrates and things like this. But, you know, it breaks it down to its essence, giving you the energy that you need. Now, if you're lacking sunlight, these things are not getting broken down properly. So then you can have a buildup of sugar, leading you to having diabetes and things like this, weight gain. So sunlight is very important. It's a deep thing you have to grasp. The body is doing many things, but you getting sunlight and having that break certain things down along with the oxygen and the liquids in your body, these three elements, the liquids, the sun rays, and the oxygen, they're breaking down the food that you eat, distributing the carbon throughout your body the way it needs to be, breaking it down into energy, and it's pushing out whatever's left over that's waste. So what you shit out is what's not needed. It's the waste. The energy was absorbed from it. The carbon dioxide that you breathe out, this is the waste gas from the oxygen breaking down the food. And, you know, you have a sun within. You're like a universe in yourself. I'm going to break that down in 1 second. But I want to get into the oxygen breaking down the food, distributing the energy throughout your body the way it needs to be. Because when you lack oxygen and you lack the sun energy, breaking down the carbon dioxide and things like this and the sugars and things like this for extra energy, when you lack the sunlight and the oxygen, this leads to you lacking energy. So you have to grasp, if you don't have energy, you become lazy. And this is what leads people to becoming overweight. So most people become lazy first. Then the weight begins to pack on. And all of this has to do with sunlight and oxygen. People in today's times, we're lacking this. In the past, they made their food and they ate outdoors. A lot of you need to eat outdoors. Somewhere near a garden or a forest if you can, but you need fresh air by a lake, whatever. But you need fresh oxygen, you need sunlight, especially while you're eating, so that these things can break that carbon down the way it needs to be broken down to its essence, as opposed to it being built up within you. So you have to grasp the carbon dioxide, the waste, all these things, it's within the food. The oxygen is breaking through these things. The sunlight is whatever's left over, the sunlight and the liquids in your bodies. It's turning this over into sugars and carbohydrates and other different forms of energy that your body may need. But if you're lacking these things, then you can kind of look at it as these things being clumped or stuck inside the food. And you're shitting out the food without getting what you need for your body out of it. Now, I want to go into how your body's a universe, because this is where this becomes important. If the food is not being broken down properly, therefore you're not getting the proper amount of energy that you need, you have to remember you have your own sun within self, your own light or energy source within self that's powering the micro aspects of your body the same way as the existence we live in. So you have the sunlight within you, or your spirit, or your sun, whatever you want to call it. It's breaking down the carbon dioxide within your body with the waters, and it's breaking it down, turning it over into sugars, carbohydrates, and different forms of energy for yourself. But if it's not being broken down properly, then it builds up. Therefore, you begin to gain weight. So it's like I said, just like the plants take in carbon dioxide for a certain part of the day and then push out oxygen, you have different aspects of your body on a micro level that do the same for the micro life within you. Takes in the carbon to clear. So it's more than just it's more than just you breathing out the carbon dioxide, but you have other aspects of your body that's working on the carbon dioxide, the waste. It's working on it in a micro aspect also. And all of these things are becoming backed up, being as though you're not getting the proper sunlight and oxygen. You have backed up sugars and backed up carbohydrates all in you because it's not being broken down to its essence, to the energy source, which is what you need, the energy of these things. And if it's being, just look at it as a blender. If it's being grounded and blended up all the way to the finest grade it can be blended to, then it's easy for you to intake the energy from it. But if it's all clogged up and glumped up in there, you're kind of missing the elements within. So it's really a deep, deep thing. Weight loss is more than the food that we eat. It's a very deep thing y'all have to grasp. We focus on the food, but we don't focus on the science of the body and what's truly happening. And it's like I said, Men cannot profit off of telling you that sunlight and lack of oxygen is the reason for you gaining weight. But you can clearly see people in today's times seem to be more overweight as time is going. Like, if you go back, people were not, kids and adults also were not as overweight as you're seeing them now. And it's because people in today's times do not get very much sunlight or fresh oxygen. We're not out in the forest, in gardens. We're living in the cities. We're barely getting the amounts of oxygen we need to survive. This is why a lot of people's minds are not working right, on top of the drugs they're taking, and it's so many things I want y'all to grasp. This drugs also, this can lead to people gaining weight. So it's so many different aspects to weight gain that's so much more deeper than the food. It's not the food that is gaining the weight. And it's a sad thing, but the truth is, what you eat has nothing to do with you gaining weight. This is why you see slim people eating, slobbing down, and you're like, damn, why they don't ever get fat? It must be in their genetics. It ain't got nothing to do with genetics. It got to do with sunlight and oxygen. Everything is working together. And if you lack something, you have to account for that. You can't just say, oh, no, I'm focusing on the food, and that's it. And then you be stuck still overweight. I know we like to think a lot of these brothers are wise and they have you in their best interest, but they have your best interests at heart. But they're businessmen, and you have to just realize this. Most of the problems people suffer from, the cure is simple. It's a simple, free thing. Most things you don't have to do anything. Most of the sicknesses and things that we have, it's not a matter of what we're doing, but it's a matter of what we're lacking, if that makes any sense. We tend to look for the cure for things, and a lot of times it's a matter of you just stopping what you're doing. The life fixes itself. So if you get a scab or a cut, you don't pick with it, you just leave it. So that's what I mean. Sometimes y'all have to just stop. Stop listening to this thing and that thing and trying this and trying that, and just stop. The life fixes itself. Just stop a minute and think, what are you lacking in the life? Sunlight, oxygen. Okay, I'm lacking these. Y'all look for food and stuff y'all lack. I'm lacking vegetables. I'm lacking this. You're lacking sunlight and energy, and nothing. You're lacking sunlight and oxygen, and nothing is more important than those two things. You have to grasp that. If you're skipping over that and going straight into the diet and saying this is why I'm overweight, well, this is why people are struggling, and it seems to not truly be working. But sunlight and energy. The sun is out for half the day. Now, I know the way that society is formed. We're at work and we're busy, so we don't have the opportunity to truly get the sunlight that we need. But in that, it's a deep thing. You need sunlight. The sun is here for a reason. You get it for half of the day for a reason. Take advantage of the time that it's out. During the daytime, trees push out oxygen. At nighttime, they don't. They breathe in oxygen to make up for what they've been pushing out. So you have to grasp, the day is yours, my child. Get what you need, because it's cold at night, baby. The devil, the freaks, come out at night. It's chaotic at night, but it's all good for its purpose. But you have to take advantage of the day. Get that sunlight. You need that. At least 3 hours of it, especially for the children. We got them locked away in school. Kids need to learn outdoors, out in the life. Teach them math outdoors. There's many examples in life you can use to teach a child math, reading, social studies, history. You can teach these things better outdoors. Why are we running from outdoors? You see how we create our own hells. It's a deep thing, and then we consume ourselves in them. The house, the office building, the school, the car, public transportation. But wherever you turn, the stores, wherever you turn, you're indoors. There's no trees, no forests, no lakes, rivers around in these indoor places that we spend most of our time. And this is what leads to the complications. It's a deep thing. A lot of y'all just, when you're eating, if you're overweight, when you're eating, try to eat your meals outdoors. That way, the food can be broken down properly, the energy can be distributed through your body properly, and you won't have that lazy feeling where you're sitting around stuck with the weight gaining on. Now imagine you're indoors. Weight just gaining on. The oxygen ain't right, so it ain't breaking the food down right. So you're not getting the energy you need right. Therefore, you're becoming lazy and pounds is packing on. So you want to eat outdoors. Get sunlight, fresh oxygen, and eat your meals like this. If you can cook outdoors, do that also, because, that's carbon also when you're cooking. And, we take in a lot more carbon than we should, being as though we do a lot of things indoors. So it's a deep thing. You're breathing out carbon, but you're breathing this out indoors. No grass. You're taking back some of that in, and it's like the carbon that you're supposed to be pushing out of your body, the carbon dioxide, that waste, a lot of it is being stuck within the body, and it's being turned over into sugars and carbohydrates, and instead of you having the proper oxygen and sunlight, breaking that down even more into energy, it's being stuck in that sense. People getting diabetes and things like this. And then we put it on the food and say, because this does have to do with food, but it is not the food's fault. It is the lack of oxygen and sunlight, not breaking the food down, that's causing this. So you can adjust your food all you want, but if you're not getting proper oxygen and sunlight to break it down, it really wouldn't matter, is my point. You have to go beneath to the root of the problem to fix things. You can eat healthy, you can do anything you choose, but oxygen and sunlight is what's breaking these things down. The oxygen is breaking it down, pushing the energy throughout your body the way you need it. The sunlight is turning the extra excess carbon dioxide over into sugars and carbohydrates, and more oxygen is breaking that down the same way it did the food into more energy. So it's a repeating process of just breaking things down to their essence. You eat the food, the oxygen breaks that down into energy, resulting in you having carbon dioxide. You breathe that out. What's not breathed out? Sunlight, the water's within your body. It turns that into sugars and carbohydrates. It's like it's more food, but in a smaller sense, you can say, in a more in a elements of a sense, you can say. Not so much solid anymore. But the oxygen will break that down more also the same way it did the food, turning that into more energy for you. So you wouldn't need to eat as much as you do if you were getting sunlight in proper amounts of oxygen. You wouldn't need to eat as much as you do, because the food that you eat, it would be getting broken down by the oxygen. That energy and the nutrients and the things you need will be distributed throughout your body. Whatever carbon dioxide is left over that you don't breathe out, the waters and liquids within your body mixed with the sunlight and the light within self will turn this over into sugars and carbohydrates, the same way the plants do. Now, the same way the plants do, same process. And those sugars and carbohydrates, the oxygen will break that down even more also. So it's a repeated breaking down process. Sucking the energy out, distributing in that throughout the body. And just keep breaking it down. The oxygen just keeps breaking it down to its essence. But when that's not happening, you begin to get built up. If the food is not being broken down to its essence, then it's being packed on. So you gain weight. And it's a deep thing. It's like I said, this is why in the past, they did a lot of eating outdoors and cooking outdoors. And we just have to get more into the life. And just understand, business. It's an abomination because business capitalizes off the life and the sufferings that come from it. It's like exploiting, and I just hate to be a part of that. I told people to inbox me or email me on Facebook because I told them I could help them with their weight loss problems. And so many people emailed and inboxed me, and I'm big on give and receive, balance. So I feel like if you come to receive something, you should come with balance. People just come to receive like, oh, I need help, brother, with my weight, and it's like, you've been watching me for years. Not years, but at least a year or two. I've been here 2 years, so you've either been watching a year or 2, 6 months, something, and just no balance. But there's no price on the things I say. I always say just give and receive. It's all about the life. Everything I teach is about the life. It's not about myself. It's not about giving honor and glory to myself and saying, I'm smarter than everybody else. It's about the life. When I say I am the wisest on the planet, it is because I say I learned from the life. So it's to show you the life. There's so much we're missing from the life. You can learn from that better than anything. That is what's for you to learn from. Your surroundings. So it's a deep thing. You are one with that. You are that. So it's a very deep thing I want people to just grasp. While I'm in humble spirits, I'm about to go on my fast. So I'm just trying to adjust my mind for that, because I go through my fast every now and then where I pull away from certain things, not the religious fast things that y'all do, but just a deep fasting. And I just like to adjust my mind. I want to do a good deed before I go into this fast. Push this video out to all the people that's struggling with being overweight, because I'm not overweight, but I can just imagine, And it's truly a simple thing. I see a lot of people being exploited. I see a lot of people teaching diet and teaching this thing and that thing. And a lot of people truly do not understand in totality what they're pushing out. And it's because they truly don't understand the substance of these foods and things that they're teaching. They're just looking to make money. They know people are into this health kick now and all these different things. And I just want to say, when you're on your path of wisdom and you're indulging into all these different diets and different things that these different teachers teach, just understand, man, it's all business at the bottom line. There will be some product for you to buy, or there's some product being promoted. And it's just a big exploitation, and it's a deep thing. It's just like for those of you that are vegans, I want to give you this gift. And it's not to tell you not to be a vegan or anything like that, but I just want to give you a jewel. The same way I just gave those who may be overweight. So I'm not biased with anyone. I view everyone the same. If you eat, whether it's meat or vegan, I view you all the same. Y'all eat too much. This is life that y'all are eating, and it's all about quantity. Stop eating so much. You can go 3 weeks before you starve to death. So you don't need to eat every day, which means you don't need to eat as much as y'all do. So just try not to eat as much as y'all do. Other than that, I'm not judging anyone according by what you eat. That's not, wise men do not do that. They don't judge a person according to what they eat. They judge a person according to their actions. We all get our meat and vegetables the same way in today's times, which is from the store. So no one's morality is at stake. In the past, it was different. You had to go hunt the meat, so that's a whole different nature, and different morality. But we're past those times. We're so lost. The life is a delicacy now. You just go in and, I like that meat. And it's so deep we don't even, the meat eater doesn't even realize that what he's eating was an animal. Until you say something, then he remembers. But until that point, become kind of oblivious to the fact that, buddy, you're eating meat. So it's a deep thing, man, but I don't take any sides, meat eater or vegan. I just hope that y'all learn to stop eating as much as y'all do and get sunlight and oxygen. That's very important. Now, if you're a plant-based eater, meaning you eat mostly fruits and vegetables and you don't indulge into the meat, breads and things like this, I just want to let you know. We all know that plants and trees, vegetation, pushes out oxygen and takes in carbon dioxide. So you have to know that these things, meaning plants, vegetation, plant-based food, high in carbon. You have to grasp that. Plants intake more carbon than anything in the life because they kind of help clean up the carbon dioxide in the earth for us. So plants are very divine living beings. I know vegans look at, oh, don't eat meat because the animal is sacred, but truly the trees, the vegetation, these are the sacred aspects of life, and they're divine, and you learn everything truly from the tree, the vegetation, and the little insects and things that surround these things. But the tree, the fruit, they're truly divine, but they're high in carbon, and you can get a lot of carbon built up within you from eating these things, especially when you're not getting proper sunlight and oxygen, and all you're eating is plant-based foods. You can get built up on carbon. It's a deep thing. You can become very built up on carbon and wind up getting sick. I forgot what it's called. Acidosis, I believe it's called. But you can wind up, I'm trying to remember the name, but being as though plants and vegetation is high in carbon, being as though that's what it takes in, your carbon levels can raise really high. This can affect your blood levels, your blood pH levels. This can affect your health. You could actually die. You could get diseases like acidosis, I believe it's called, and this will lead to you having low blood pressure. So I'm not sure if you're a plant-based eater and you're listening and you're like, man, I got some of those things he just named. I didn't know it was coming from that. I don't want y'all to be biased on the food, and now you're looking at plant-based foods like, oh, it's the devil, and it's the amount y'all eating. If you eat a lot of food, whether plant-based or meat, then you have to grasp. But I don't want you to look at the plants as the plant is the problem, but you just have to grasp. You have to know the amounts that you're eating and where this is coming from. So you may have acidosis or something, or you may have low blood pressure. Your blood pH levels may be out of whack. A lot of these things come from your carbon levels being too high. And the main reason people carbon levels become too high is because of the food they eat. And what food is highest in carbon? The plant-based foods. So you have to grasp. I know we like to be biased with foods and we think this food is good and that food is good, but it is all life. And it truly will be the death of you. This is hell. You have to grasp, like I said. Eating is a sin because all we eat is living life. When you lose sight of that, you lose your balance. You begin to lose your morality. And it's a deep thing. It leads to people being overweight, being lost, being exploited, and all types of things over this food stuff. And it's deep. Food is truly not that important. You see a lot of vegans, man, they die young. Things like this. And it's because we're overindulging in things that we're getting lost in other people's causes and other people's business. You have people only eating plant-based foods, and they got this from someone else who probably doesn't just eat that. And they just promote that because that's part of their business, and they earn a living this way. So it's deep. You have to always remember these things. I do not earn a living off of selling you guys anything. I'm just here to give you guys knowledge free from the life. The life bestows me with knowledge, and I push it out because it's a matter of give and receive. If the life gives me something, I have to give. I received, I have to give. The only way I can give back to the life is by making y'all aware of the things I know, so that y'all can be more mindful of the trees and the more divine aspects of the life that's working behind the scenes of all this beautiful physical stuff that y'all like to indulge into and get lost into. So I'm just here for the life. I don't want people to get so lost into me and, oh, Solace, you're here in hell with us and you eat too and you have kids also, so you need to fix your ego. You have to fix your ego because you don't know enough. Therefore, you just blurt out things in your ego. But I'm the wise servant, so you have to grasp. I understand things like through hell is the only way for one to truly have life, meaning have been an individual and live life. To become an individual is to come into hell. And the physical is the last aspects of hell. So when I break down we are all hell and all of that, this is what I mean. So you don't have to worry about if I'm here with you. Well, here is the only way. Through hell is the only way. So grasp. There's no other way. But that don't mean you need to be lost. That don't mean you need to be lost from the way. You go into the club. You don't got to get lost in the club. You got to remember how to get out. You got to remember where the exit was in the club. Life is the same. You don't want to get so lost where you forget your way. And most people, they have completely forgot the way. And it's a matter of not dealing with the life in the way that people in the past used to. This is why most people are obese now as opposed to the past. This is why you see many overweight children. And it's because lack of sunlight. It's because lack of energy. Now, I know a lot of y'all have so much negativity inside, and y'all are so competitive and just lost in every aspect of life. I know many of you will say, oh, well, we're not supposed to eat plant-based foods, and what are you saying we're supposed to eat? I'm not telling you anything. I am giving you knowledge. If you have balance and morality within self, you will know what to do with what I told you. If you're unbalanced, you will say foolish things like, I thought we weren't supposed to eat, Solace. Hey, Solace, I seen you smoking marijuana in the video. I thought we weren't supposed to smoke. And you'll begin to say stupid things like this. Because you have no balance. You're not taking the knowledge for what it's for. You don't have morality. You're not reaching for morality. You're looking to judge, as though you're in your low state. You have no purpose. You're not pulling to better the life in any way. You're just lost in self. And being as though you're lost, you look for negativity in anything that you can find it. And I truly want nothing to do with people like that have no balance. So it's a deep thing I want y'all to just grasp, man. I know y'all like to look for little things to nitpick at and try to figure out, oh, is Solace a scam? Y'all are wasting y'all time. It's all pure with me. There's no gimmicks. There's no drama, no games. Somebody said, oh, I was smoking in the video. Oh, you becoming to be like Eligio, Nature Boy, and all this. Listen, when y'all begin to tie me into people that have like drama-filled channels and a whole bunch of shenanigans going on, this is where I draw the line. All my videos are at peace. It's just me in them. It's always the same simple setting. I'm always discussing a certain topic, dealing with knowledge. I'm not here for the shenanigans. I'm not here as a reality show for you. If you want knowledge, I keep my channel simple and plain so that you can grasp knowledge. I don't stunt on my channel. I don't get lost into any of those things. Please keep that separate from me. My channel is peace-based. When I say peace-based, I mean peace within self. Y'all are riled up spirits, and y'all come, and y'all try to discredit things by not even saying anything to discredit it. Besides, that's not right. Because so you have to just grasp. This is not a matter of meat eaters versus plant eaters or none of this. I'm just explaining to you all how one can become overweight and how it truly has nothing to do with the food that is being intook or the food that you're taking in. It has to do with lack of sunlight and lack of oxygen. And that is the honest truth. I put that on the life. That is the problem. You can waste your money, or you can be real with self. Take the knowledge that I provided you in this video. Go get you a pad, pen. Write down whatever you feel you may have missed. And apply what I told you in this video. If you feel like you need more in depth, then just hit me up for a one-on-one on this topic. Please give and receive. I do not like dealing with unbalanced people that feel like they're special. You have knowledge, so give it to me. There's nothing wrong with you. You can have knowledge also, but you're lost in the life. You're lost in the life that men created for you to be a slave in. Therefore, you don't have time to learn as I do. And it's a deep thing. I try to keep things as smooth as I can, but we have to just get ourselves in more humble spirits, focus on the objective, which is wisdom, knowledge, so that you can better yourself in your environment. And when you get to that point, then you want to do your little things you can do to better the life. Like, I want to put together a little group where we go around to all the different forests all over America and restore them and just keep them abundant. Someone showed me a video of St. Lucia. They went to St. Lucia to visit their family, and they were showing me how they were going into the forest to get the bananas, and the way they forests were, it was just so beautiful. I said, damn, that's how America was before they built cities all over it. And they were just all in the forest. And you could just see the packs of bananas just hanging from the trees, the coconuts just hanging from the trees, the apples, the vegetation was all on the ground. You seen little grapevines, and you just seen so much, and it was miles and miles. The person was literally recording driving. Then they got out the car, and the uncle went down into the forest and came back out with just so much. And you seen everybody that lived in the surrounding areas coming out of there with their food. And I said, man, it's just so deep. When it's just a deep thing. We have to grasp. We're not getting what we need. We're not getting oxygen. We're not getting sunlight. We're getting old food, meaning if you're not plucking the fruit or the vegetation yourself and preparing it and eating it in that moment, then it is not fresh. You have to grasp that. I don't care if it says organic on it. I don't care if you bought this from Whole Foods. None of that matters. It's old. It wasn't just plucked. It wasn't just picked. The meat wasn't just hunted out back, slaughtered, chopped up, filleted up, and given to you right at that moment. So we're not getting fresh food ever, except for those who grow their own food and they eat it and pick it as they go, meaning as they eat. Because a lot of people that grow their own food, they just pick it all when it's ready and they store it. This takes away from the freshness, because once you pick it from its source, it is dead now. In you doing that, it dies. Let it fall on its own. Then eat it. But in the meanwhile, you can pluck it. You know, food falls on its own, not all at once. So if you have an apple tree, all the apples don't just fall down at once, but same with the tomatoes. They don't all just fall at once. So as they fall, you just prepare them then. If you grow your own food, you just prepare it then. That way you can eat fresh, meaning fully fresh. And you eat that, and then as they fall, you just eat. Therefore, you know, you take accountability of your morality, being more aware of how you go about. This is why I only eat once a day, twice a day. This is why, for morality purposes. You want to have some type of self-control. This is why I don't indulge into any of the physical things that I used to. Sex, all these things I don't. I rarely indulge. Here and there I do, for balance purposes. Now, I'm not telling you, oh, don't do nothing in life. Indulge in things as much as you want. The whole purpose of you pulling yourself from these things is because we're lost in it. I'm not lost in any physical thing. I don't have possessions. I don't have a flock of sheep, meaning people that follow and flock unto me, and I lead this group of people, and I'm against all of this. So my morality is intact. If you see me doing something, before you judge, know if I do this all the time. Then judge. I may never do this, and it's all within perfect balance. So it's a deep thing. I just want you guys to grasp, man. We have to just begin to pull for the higher self, and just understand there's many things I can help you guys with. It's just all an aspect of people's egos and mine as well. I do it because y'all. I like to nitpick with y'all because It's absurd to me how a person can teach you for free and then you don't give me anything back but negativity, negative comments, and just ignorance. So it's a deep thing, but in real life, I'm just a humble, quiet spirit, and I just suck in knowledge all day. And if you ever see me in person, I'm to myself. And I converse with all different types of people. Poor, dirt poor, filthy rich. All people are the same to me, and I have my morality, and I understand the rules and the orders, better yet to say, of the life, and I live by them, and I try to stay in the flow with the life, and being as though I do that, I kind of live a free life. So it's a deep thing, but I just try to push that out to others, and it's deep. I also put up on Facebook that if you're looking to, because a lot of you guys work 9-to-5 jobs, and you know this is slavery and things like this. You pay rent, you pay lights, gas, mortgage, whatever the case may be. You pay your car note, and you work to pay all these things, and it tends to never stop. Meaning your rent, lights, gas, mortgage, all these things. It's like a never-ending thing. You find yourself being a slave to all your possessions for the rest of your life. So it's almost like all the possessions and things and people that you get to follow you, they become like a hell for you in a sense. You know, it becomes your priorities and your responsibility. And it's a deep thing. You become a slave to these type of things. And if you want to position yourself to basically have a free living where you use your job, how you work now, to position yourself to not have to work, where you can live the free life and work if you choose to, for someone, for yourself, but just have a free life where you don't have to work. That's not going to affect if you eat, have somewhere to live, things like this. So if you want to use your job to begin to transfer your life into that aspect, you know, use your job to benefit yourself. Use your job to free yourself from that whole job system and way. It's a deep thing I want y'all to grasp. You can hit me up. This is something that I actually do consulting on, you can say. I've helped three people do this already, and there's like probably thousands that I've inspired that have hit me up and say, yo man, it's a deep thing. I bought land and things like this, but I can help you. If you work, I can help you and let you know exactly what to do. Buy yourself some land. Get you a small house built on it. The new modular homes, you know, whatever's in your budget, and you can put down on land and pay mortgage, so to say, on land, and it's pretty cheap, like $125 a month. The down payment on land is usually very cheap. And if you're working, you can buy land, put down on it, pay off on it, slowly but surely, and build your house or your small home or whatever, because this may be cheap. All of this may cost you in total $35,000-$40,000 in total. 3 acres of land, small home built on it, and have it designed however you choose. This may cost you in total $40,000, and all you'll have to pay after that is just yearly taxes, which may be like $1,000 a year. So guys, that's $100 a month. This really ain't nothing. So you see how your bills just go so low. It takes away from your stress. But you can use your job to create that reality for yourself. Most of y'all make about $35,000-$40,000 a year. So just in 1 year, 2 years, you can do this for yourself while still maintaining the life that you live now until this is done. When this is done, you can go there and live and still work at your job if you choose to, and take that money and fix up your land the way you want. Or you can take your land and turn it into a small community, use the resources on your land to make money for those as well as yourself and the community. You can even learn how to get your own city and make revenue that way. And there's many different aspects and things that I can help you with as far as freeing yourself from the system but still using it for the benefit of self, as opposed to the system using you to benefit itself. So it's a matter of that. But small things I can show you, tell you better yet how to get land, the down payments and things like this on it, get your little house and things situated, mineral rights, different little things you may need to know, road access when you're buying land, small different things I can give you consultation on in regards to this matter of you freeing yourself from having to work. And depending on how much of my time you require, this is when it will become a matter of you will pay me for my time. But to just give you information, a structure on what you can do while you're working to free yourself from having to work, I'll give you a quick breakdown. Get land and, use your paycheck to pay off on the land. At the same time, be paying off on the construction of your land, ration that out through your paycheck. And, if you make this much every week, then this much you want to put into the land every week. Because land is cheap. Land is maybe $150 every month you may have to pay on the land. If you're getting a home or something built, you can just put more down for that. And maybe say, I'll put $300 a month towards my land for the whole year. $300 a month towards your land. Be paid off on the land by the end of the year. It all depends on how much but you just adjust it to your revenue, what your income is, and how fast you want to make this happen. A lot of people can do this during income tax time, to be true with you. So this is actually a perfect time. A lot of you can use your income tax check to truly free yourself from that whole mortgage and rent thing, and just get yourself nice little 3 acres with your income tax, and use that whole money to just get yourself a small home built. Something that you need, not a big stupid mansion. You want the land to be your home. You want to use up as much as the land as you can and leave it bare for growing food and just having beautiful gardens on your land, and just use the land and live free. It's a beautiful, deep thing. Build a small home big enough for you to sleep in. Handle your business in. A lot of times y'all want big, huge homes. Get a lot of land. You can walk around your land free. You can watch TV outside on your land. You can't do that because you don't own the land now. So, you probably get a fine or get locked up for stealing energy. Because if you're watching TV outside, you're going to plug it up to some light pole. So it's a deep thing. I just want y'all to grasp. I can help people free themselves from that whole aspect of life. Those of you that may want to start a small community or something like that, inbox me. I'm willing to put into money into things like this with people that are trying to do things like this. I'm willing to put my time and invest my money into things like this. I'm just not coming across people that are into these things for some reason. But if there's any of you lovely spirits that's out there that are looking to do these kind of things, inbox me, email me. I'm ready to start a small community, and I don't mind. Like I said, I'm free in life as of now. But that's not to say it's going to stay like that, being as though people are working. People working and going with the system is what keeps the system the way it is, high and strong. And so it's no telling what will happen in the future. But as of now, I'm doing my service for the life, pushing out this knowledge. And, more than that, but I help a lot of people on a one-on-one with very deep problems, and I truly help them. And it's a deep thing. Matters I can't discuss, but it's deep. But aside from that, I can help you with things like the weight loss, freeing yourself from the whole job system, and just deep things. I'm still working on getting this school for land. Well, the school that is land. So basically it's a land school, meaning we'll be doing our learning directly from the land. There will be, buildings on the land, because all the learning won't be done just outdoors, but, for the most part, it'll be like an alternative college where you can learn life things that are hard to learn in today's times. So it's a deep thing. I'll go more in depth. Right now I'm writing up my proposal. And I'm about to reach out to the city and see if maybe the city can help me with this, being as though people are not really donating. And I've done what I can do for y'all. Pushed out knowledge. I asked in return to donate for my cause, so this is not really happening. So, at the end of the day, I got to do what I got to do for the life. This is things I want to do. Most of the things I say I'll do for free, like going around and fixing up the forest. These are things I want to do. It has nothing to do with money. I feel like I want to keep myself busy doing things I enjoy, being as though I don't live to make money. The life kind of take care of me. It's a deep thing. I don't have no desires for the things that y'all have desires for. So I just have desires to make the best of my time and be the best of myself that I can be, being as though I know I can do great things in this life. I can leave a nice, not even a legacy for myself, because it's not about self, but it's about the life. I can leave a nice, beautiful change in the life where people are not suffering and being oppressed as much as they are now, and that means a lot. To be remembered is one thing, but to be remembered for changing the flow of life into a better direction is the purpose. This is my goal. This is why I want people to, this is why I want to get to school, so people can get back tapped into the life and begin to learn from the life and learn the things that they're not putting in college anymore, like metal smelting and how to make, what resources make certain fabrics, and how to make these fabrics and how to sew them, how to grow food and build shelters, not just houses, but tippy huts, straw huts, caves, hobbit homes, how you dig them into the ground, and just like the tunnel homes, and just different types of structures and shelters that can be used, and why straw huts and tippy huts are truly better than houses which are built with wood, because the trees are divine, so you want to spare them at anytime you can spare the tree or find an alternative, you want to use it. So we don't have to use wood to build our homes. We can build them in just stone, and we can build beautiful tippy huts that's secure and beautiful and big, and connect tippy huts and make mansion tippy, whatever you want. But I just want to teach a lot of different things on the land and give people access to knowledge and things that you can't really get in college, because in the schools and the way the system is, the things we learn are like things that doesn't matter with life. Can't do anything with typing. It's a deep thing. It's like I just want to do my part. I've been bestowed with this great knowledge, great understanding. Many things have been revealed to me behind the physical. So the understanding is so vivid. Sometimes I lose you guys, but hopefully this video made sense to anyone truly searching for wisdom. Hopefully anyone who's having problems with their weight. Hopefully you applied this video and it helps you if you're having any problems. I have no problem helping you as long as you've been respecting the orders of the universe, which is give and receive. I'm about to stop even responding to people who have been tuning into my videos who have not yet donated something to me, whether it's a rock. I've already went through this in my videos, so I don't feel like going through this again, but donation doesn't just mean money, but I'm going to stop responding to people that don't have any balance. And it's simple as that. But hopefully this weight loss video did some of you guys some justice. If you need a little more pointers as far as the weight loss go, like I said, you can always hit me up for a one-on-one. Or hit me up to ask me a question about something that you're doing with the weight loss thing. Because truly it's a one-on-one thing. Everyone's different. I don't know exactly who you are. Meaning I'm just doing this video for the masses. And people are lacking sunlight and oxygen, and this is the cause for weight gain. Now, you as an individual, you may have more complications than the weight gain now, being as though you've been overweight for so long. You may have diabetic problems or this problem or that problem, and I can help you with it, but I don't know what it is. So I would have to know exactly what's going on with you. A lot of you need to fast for 3 days straight and don't eat anything for 3 days straight, and watch what happens. It's a deep thing, but in any event, it's your main man, Solace the Wise Servant. Peace and wisdom. It's a deep thing.